How's it going? I'm Bradley Miranda. I work at Monkey Trench Studios. I'm a music producer, recording engineer, and mixing engineer. I started as an intern at the age of 18, got my hands dirty in the studio, started sweeping floors, then finally moving up to touching equipment, and eventually I became the in-house recording engineer and mixing engineer, and I managed the place. I've worked with MXPX, Amber Pacific, Jesse Lawson, and the list goes on. Well, when you get into the studio, if you don't know what you're doing as a musician, you're not going to be playing as well. I think that bands that are well rehearsed coming in, there's going to be a great record that comes out of that. My favorite plugin from JST is JST Clip. I can drive my signal so hard and not hear any digital distortion, and it's great. I hate digital distortion, and with this plugin I can get my mixes competitive loudness compared to Lady Gaga, Adele, Metallica, you name it. The best part about JST plugins is its ease of use. There's only a few knobs to mess with. Anyone who's getting into audio production, let's say that you have a recording rig at your house, you don't want to start with buying expensive equipment. Well, the JST plugins are so affordable. It's like you pick it up and it's professional quality. I can't guarantee that some of the plugins are based on analog equipment, but I could say that gain reduction reminds me of the LA2A because it has two knobs and it's super easy to use. You just adjust the threshold and you get that nice color from analog equipment. When I'm doing songwriting or even just recording a songwriter, doing demos, stuff like that, I want to use a simple plugin such as an LA2A by Universal Audio. It has two knobs, a fixed attack time and release. Just set it and forget it and record. When I write music, I know a lot of people start with an acoustic guitar, but for me, it just depends on what I'm feeling. I play drums and I play bass and almost anything that completes an entire band, but for me, creating music, it just depends on what I'm trying to go after. Do I want the song to be based on the beat, the kick drum, and the snare, or do I want it to be based on melody? It just depends. I try to not filter myself and use one instrument to create music. The key ingredient to a good production is to have a really good musician come in. I'm a strong believer in a good musician, a good guitar, a good amp, and that chain to make a great record. I've worked with analog and digital quite a bit. I've spliced tape before. I've taped it back together and used time code, the old school time code, which was a pain in the ass. But the transition to digital is great because now I don't have to deal with physical tape anymore. It's all about going on a hard drive. I can have as many tracks as I want. Back in the old tape days, you'd have up to 24 tracks or even less. Now we can have over 100 tracks to make our music the best it can be. JST plugins have definitely helped me record quicker and more efficient. I can have my presets saved and just pull them up once I'm ready to track. I don't have to worry about plugging things in or whatever, and that's another advantage of digital audio workstations is that the JST plugins just pop right back up. My settings are saved. I can even save presets and use it on another band. You can name anything and it's really efficient. JST plugins are so great because it's affordable. You can buy a ton of plugins for over $1,000 or you can spend thousands of dollars on equipment. But JST plugins are at an affordable rate and they're competitive with the other plugins on the market and they sound great. Any songwriter that's starting out can benefit from these plugins because they're so simple, they're so easy to use. You don't have to know a lot about how a compressor works or even how an equalizer works. Some of his plugins even have simple effects where you can throw it on and it gives you what you want. I used to use H-delay on my guitars, but then when I discovered ToneForge Ben Bruce, it was the greatest thing that ever came into my DAW because it has a delay and a bunch of effects built into it.